vent problems, you're going to have a lot of notifications. One is taking your dryer 3 or 4 times a load just to dry. 2, when you touch the top of the dryer, it's blazing hot. That a lot of times will tell you that you have vent problems. It's not necessarily a heating element, thermostat, or anything. If your dryer is heating but it's not drying, it's a vent issue. What we're going to use is this Milwaukee drill set, which is going to give us this brushless drill. And you need an end where you can actually fit your set in, and I'm going to show you the set in just a minute. And that's obviously sold as a whole kit. So in this kit we have our rods, which are what we use to extend the vent to clean it. It also comes with our brush, which is going to help us clean. Comes with a little pin that you can hook the brush onto. It's going to come with even a bigger brush. So you get 2 different sizes of brushes depending on what you're using the unit for. We get directions, so it does come with directions on how to use everything. And these are actually hookups for a vacuum, so you can actually hook things up, and that way you can suck all that lint out. It can clean up to 12 feet, and you usually want to, you cannot clean a flex vent under the house. It may rip it apart. So what you can clean though is rigid pipe under the house, which is what we have here. We have rigid aluminum. Now you can do PVC, and you can also do some other forms of piping or things that may be formed. Mainly you're going to have aluminum. Other things, but see, this is how quickly they attach. Very simple and easy. The brush literally screws right onto the end. Alright, so inside this kit is actually an adapter that you'll need to hook to the drill, which is right here. Alright, so this piece you actually screw in depending on the length that you want. So this piece screws into this piece, and then when you're hooking this up to your drill, you're basically putting that right into the drill. There you go. Now you have your full operational dryer vent cleaning. Now if you want to extend this and make it longer and longer, such as this is about 3 feet. So if you want to actually keep going where your vent is, say 6 or 9 feet long, then you would basically add another broad piece on. And then you would, from there, add your piece back on. And then after that, you would simply hook it back into your drill, and you could go as long as you want. 12 feet is the longest that you're going to get out of this kit. Alright, so we're going to pull the dryer out first, because the biggest thing is that we want to make sure it's nice and clean back here, and you want to make sure your vent down on the bottom is also clean. Now, as a safety precaution, when you're ever back behind the dryer cleaning or doing anything like that, just make sure you unplug the dryer. The last thing you want to do is electrocute yourself or cause some type of fire hazard, because dryer lint is a big fire hazard. It will ignite very quickly. So, you know, make sure it's unplugged when you're back here. That way, as you're cleaning back here. However, when we go do the dryer vent cleaning, we are actually going to plug this back in, turn the dryer on, and we'll show you how to do all that. But first we're going to clean out back here. Okay, so you want to do this when the dryer's unplugged. You do not want to do it when it's running, because there's a blower wheel in here. And if you shove this thing too far in there when it's running, you're going to hit that blower wheel, and then you're just going to mess your whole dryer up. So as you are taking this apart to clean it, you know, take your brush that you've got picked up and really get in here and clean out the vent inside the dryer as well. It's really going to help the airflow, and as long as it's unplugged, you're not going to cause any damage to the dryer itself. So this is the back of the vent of what we pulled off. You can see it's nice and nasty in there. And so it's black inside here for a reason of being fire protective. So if your vent does not have a black fill inside of here, you probably need to replace it with an actual dryer vent, because there are airflow vents and dryer vents. But we want to clean all this out. We want to get all that lint out of there. Now what we're going to do is hook our piece back up to here, and we're going to actually clean our indoor vent first, our flex vent, and then we'll start focusing on the vent that goes underneath the house. Now if you ever lose this piece, it only comes like one in there, so it's easy to lose if you don't have it screwed on. You can always use this piece and just actually take it right into the drill, and it'll work just as well. So just keep that in mind. If you end up losing this piece, it's not the end of the world. You can actually still use the whole set as long as you have this type of drill. Alright, so we're ready to go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab our indoor vent that was real nasty, and I'm going to stick this in here. I'm going to go real easy, but you're going to see it all come out at the bottom here. One thing you might want to do too, if you're really sensitive to if you have asthma or dust, or you're sensitive to that kind of thing, then you might want to wear a mask, because this stuff will get all in your nose and will get straight on your body and everywhere. Okay, so once you've cleaned the indoor vent, if you decide to clean it instead of replacing it, then the good thing is if you didn't get everything out of there, you've loosened it up. So once you start doing the dryer vent process, it's all going to come out. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, before we hook the dryer back up, we're actually going to go into this vent and clean it all out. So we're going to sit here and take all these little guys out. Try not to break it if you can, but if you do, it's always replaceable. Alright, so what we're going to do is actually put this rod right up in there. And you don't know how far it's going to go. You get your two sets of pliers, you can actually twist it right off. We're going to twist it off, because what we're going to do in here is actually plug in more of these rods and then push them deeper into the vent. We're going to go as far as we can without touching the dryer. So we want to see if we can push the unit. Now they do have extension systems as well, where you can add even more rods onto this. When you start getting a little bit of a where it doesn't want to let you go through, that's when you're going to hook it to the drill. So we're going to hook our piece back up here. Grab our drill. Alright, you want to be real easy. Push this in. And slowly. There it goes. Alright.
Alright, so 4 rods is too long. So you don't want it to be really long. So what you want to do is see how far you can push it up in there, which 4 rods was too long for us. So we're going to take one of these rods off. Like I said, if it gets locked up, you're going to need your 2 pairs of pliers. You don't want to crimp anything. You just want to easily undo it. And that'll easily undo it. And then what we're going to do is then take our piece off here. And we're going to hook this rod piece up to that, because we're only going to need 3 rods for this vent cleaning. And then hook it back to the drill. Alright, we're ready. So now we're going to go hook our vent back up inside with our indoor vent. We're going to plug the dryer back in. We're going to start the dryer because we want to flow and we want all this to push out, because you don't want to push it into your house. That's why you want to hook the dryer up when you do dryer vent cleaning, because you won't get it all out if you don't, and then you're going to push all the stuff back into the house. This way it all comes out, and this is definitely when you might want to wear a mask. Alright, so your brush is all the way, you've got the end of the brush. This is where you want to stop, because you don't want to push this brush into your dryer. So what we're going to do now is actually hook up the indoor vent. Then we're going to actually put the power back on to the dryer. And then we're going to start the dryer, and then we're going to go outside and finish the vent cleaning. Push the brush down there a little bit. Put this back on. Plug her back in. You don't want to crimp your vent in the back, so keep it out just a little bit while you clean. Push it back just enough so that you can get it going. Put it on time dry. You don't really need any heat, you just need flow. You can turn it on heat if you want. It's a good idea actually, just because it will you'll feel the heat coming out and you'll feel the velocity. So let's do time dry. That way, otherwise it's going to cycle and just turn itself off. And then we're going to push start. Now our dryer's going. Now let's go out and clean it. Alright, so now that we got our dryer hooked back up, we're actually going to start cleaning it slowly. Make sure you're always going in clockwise motion. If you go counterclockwise, like you're unscrewing, you'll unscrew all these rods and everything. So here we go. We're going clockwise this way with the drill like we're screwing in. We're going to push all that stuff coming out. Real slow, but also at a steady pace. You go back and forth inside. Alright, this is a much softer brush and lengthier. This is a lot more coarse. It's going to get in wider on the vents. So we're going to now take this guy off and put this guy on and run it through the vent as well. There we go. Now this does come with a set screw as well. You can screw in here so you can make sure it doesn't fall off. But as long as you're going clockwise, it's not going to fall off. So this won't work with every single vent. And the reason that is because some vents are literally installed correct from the get-go. So if you have a flex vent or a vent that's on the ground and it has water in it, you're going to tell when you run this lint eater through it. And when you run through it, you saw everything that came out of this lint, it was dry. Well, if it's coming out wet and it's coming out where you're getting a lot of water, then what you're going to have to do is actually go underneath the house or wherever the location of the vent is, take the vent apart. You're going to have to dry it, and then you're going to have to install it properly, which it needs to go high up. If it's close to the ground, it's going to collect moisture, it's going to get cold, and all that moisture that's in your clothes that's drying out is going to deposit itself in those vents, and you will never have a dryer that runs
real quick. It's always going to take 2, 3, 4 cycles.